Here is how to eliminate panic attacks. So panic attacks are very uncomfortable, right? In fact, when I got my very first panic attack, I actually thought I was gonna die. And even when I realized it was a panic attack, I never wanted one again. I was like, please never come back. I never want to experience anything like that. And so when people are experiencing panic attacks, they're always trying to find panic attack relief. What is something I can do? And you may hear an array of advice. Some things like, oh, why don't you chew some gum so it activates the parasympathetic nervous system? Put some cold ice on your wrist. Take a cold shower. Count to 10 backwards. I don't know. All these ridiculous things. Here's the thing though. What do all these things have in common? What they have in common is that they're doing something to make you feel better in the panic attack, right? And that's okay, right? The goal of all these things is to make you as comfortable as possible. But there's a major piece missing here. And the piece is this. When people are struggling with panic attacks, when they're experiencing panic attacks in situations where they shouldn't, they're doing anything and everything they can to run away from a panic attack. What this means is that all these coping crutches aren't really useful if you're trying to run away from a feeling. So if you notice, all this advice is in the hopes of, okay, just let the panic attack pass. Just let the panic attack pass. But here's the thing, anxiety sufferers don't want the panic attack to pass because they don't want to experience the panic attack in the first place. So here's the trick. Rather than using these safety crutches, which are fine, why not just address the root problem, which is eliminating panic attacks once and for all? Now, here's the thing. Panic attacks happen oftentimes because of stress, but also because people are terrified of having a panic attack. So they start fearing a panic attack. Now, that fear is perfect fuel to get another panic attack. This is why when people get their first panic attack, it doesn't stop there. In fact, they fall into this anxiety cycle. This is very likely how you fell into the cycle. So here's the thing. Rather than utilizing all these coping crutches, why don't you just focus on one thing that has the biggest impact, which is just letting the panic attack happen. People have a hard time doing that because they get convinced that the panic attack will make them lose control. They actually feel like, what happens if I pass out? What happens if my heart explodes? What happens if this panic attack never ends? These are all what-if situations that are caused as a side effect of the anxiety. If you just let the panic attack pass on its own, well then if you choose to do these things like breathing techniques or using ice or counting backwards or whatever, that's fine. But what I have found is that when people just let it pass, they actually lose the fear of it, and as a consequence, the panic attacks go away on their own. To learn more, follow this page.